All right, hello there, Divine. I wanted to come on here very briefly and talk to you about the Inner Compass Yes No audio messages that are now currently available on the website. All right. This is merely just a tool that you can use to help you to get back to your inner knowing, to help you to tap back into yourself. Now, based on your energy, the way that you speak to yourself, your affirmations, your self-talk, and how you feel, that is where your answers kind of reside, or where they kind of form or come from, derive from, okay? And the way that this offering works is really, really simple, okay? You're going to, of course, be somewhere that you're not distracted, you're not anxious, you're alert, you're kind of, at a state of calm, all right? And you're going to form your question in a way that you can answer it yourself with a simple yes or no. Say it aloud if you can, and then just sit with it for a few minutes. About 5 minutes should be good enough, or three, however long that you feel is satisfactory to you. Sit with it just for a few minutes, okay? Monitor how your body feels and what emotions come up, and what is nudging you, what is pushing you, or what other things are you kind of feeling or hearing within yourself, all right? Now, once you've done all that, then you will make a clear choice. You're going to choose option A, option B. Now, this is just a sample of what you see behind me. This is not clickable, of course, but you will have something that is like a similar setup to what you see behind me. You will have an option A, and then you will have an option B. Okay. So you will make your choice. One of those options will have a yes answer, and one will have a no answer, okay? And then you also will have a affirmation that comes with the particular choice, okay? Now, you do have some reflection sheets at the very end of this offering as well. That is those are sheets for you to basically self-assess yourself. How do you really feel? What did you feel when you were going through this particular exercise? Or I won't let's not let me back it up. Not the particular exercise as a whole, but the area that you chose, because there's five different areas within, and you might not need all five, or you might not need all five right now. All right, so you just choose the one that you want to hone in right now, and then make your option, or your choice rather, of a yes or no. However, again, I want to stress that you will not know which one is which until after you have intuitively made your choice. Okay. Now, I will advise that it is not a good thing to click on one option and then, oh, I want to choose this option. Stick with what you chose. Stick with what you chose. It may be a reason why you chose that. And if it doesn't resonate with you, still go with it on the reflection pages. Write down how that made you feel. Because I was really thinking about this. Like, if you asked a question like, am I going to get to go on this trip? Or am I going to have enough money to go on this trip? And you've been working really hard, yet you chose the option that says no. Then most likely you're going to try to do everything that you possibly can to ensure that you go on this trip. That's at least what I would hope that you would do. Okay. It's a lot of reasons of why I would say this. And it ties into the other things that I kind of like teach or put out, and so that it can change your thought process and your energy towards things, such as the moon manifestation. So I always like to say, what if you didn't get to go now, or it didn't happen in this season, and then you just stop or slow down. I mean, you don't know what's ahead. You should keep going, keep that same momentum up, even if you don't see any way of XYZ even occurring. Keep that same energy, because you're actually feeding the universe and telling the universe, hey, this is what I really want. I need you to make this happen. And something could just happen. Or let me go back a step. When I said, for example, if your answer was a no, what if you got an answer like no, but it could be just no, or no, a better opportunity will appear. Let's say you were going on a trip. The trip's supposed to be Jamaica. But honey child, what if you were offered somewhere better than Jamaica? And just what if you actually do have enough money, because the money that you have been working so hard for is now going towards, you buy your trinkets or your gifts or whatever you want to bring back, because somebody said, come along with me, it's already paid, so and so can't make it because they're sick, so can you want to come with me to such and such? You see, things can change, all right? So I don't want you to get discouraged when you get your answers, or when you choose your answers. That's why I'm really, really stressing that you do so when you're calm, you're not distracted, all right? So that is really basically how this exercise works. It is not a me saying I'm not going to do your yes no question anymore. It's basically for you to tap into yourself and what do you feel about your question? How do you feel about your question? Do you think you're gonna make it? Do you think you're gonna pass the test? Do you think you're gonna get to go on a trip? Do you think you're gonna get the promotion? I mean, how do you feel? What have you been saying to yourself? What have you been doing to ensure that you get this? Because even if it is no for something that you wanted, you don't know if it's no because something better is coming, or no because something could be happening behind the scenes that you can't see, which could be a blessing in disguise. So you just don't know. All right. But always, self assess and look at, how you're feeling, what you're saying to yourself. Do you feel as though you've done enough that would warrant what you're asking for to become your reality? All right. So, I can't remember if I said it or not, but you will get two answers within each category. So your answer could be no, and then no, not yet, or yes, or yes, but it's still unfolding. Okay. Lean to the answer that better resonates with you. Okay. Based on your feeling, of course, not because that's what you want to hear. But if you chose no, stick with no. Don't go and click on the other option. If you chose option A and A was a no, don't you take yourself over here to option B. No, you stick with the option A. And what are your next steps? What can you do next based on the answer that you chose? How can you flip it? Or how can you, what can you do to ensure this? Okay. That is what I want you to look at when you're working yourself through this particular offering. All right. So, again, very short and sweet. Of course, I am always available to answer a question related to the offering. If you are kind of stuck, and make your questions simple. Okay, you're asking your question to yourself. You're not asking it to me, of course. So you don't have to like go over and beyond and drag the question out, make it like 4 and 5 sentences crammed into one to be one big old jambalaya of a mixture to to get the question. It should be simple. It shouldn't be what will me and Chris and Jennifer get to go whatever. I mean, you're gonna get a little messed up here because that's a lot of variables in um that question. So kind of keep it simple if you can. If you can, try to keep it simple. I did not design this for the type of questions that are very much so ran on or that have a lot of variables in it. Okay, because you and two other people, that's one too many variables, which means you might not get the answer that you want, or your answer could be off. And let me explain that, because a lot of times I get questions like that where someone asks, well, me, well, will I and so and so go somewhere? Okay, you might get to go somewhere with person A, but what if person B can't go? You see how that changes the answer? Okay. Now you can answer it how you feel, but you can only choose one option, and that option might not apply to each variable that you have. So kind of be mindful of that. All right. It's really made for questions that really pertain to you, strictly you, not a lot of variables. Like try to keep it simple as you're going through the offering. Okay. Once again, I am available if you have questions about this particular offering and you need maybe some assistance or help of some kind. I will be happy to. And until then, y'all enjoy this offering. Let me know what you think of it. And I absolutely feel like there will be more to come. All right. Be well.